They were teased for 5 years, delayed 3 times, and launched into a record they had no right to break. Yet they did it in 10 days. BABYMONSTER isn't just a rookie group, they're a billion-dollar gamble designed to rescue a label on the brink. Behind every view is a marketing blueprint. Behind every silence, a decision made in a boardroom. 7 girls were thrown into the shadow of legends and told to either rise or vanish. Expectations were sky high before their debut even began. If you missed our rookie war with Eunice and Islet, catch that next. Like, subscribe, and dive deeper. We drop new videos every weekday. This is NM60 Kpop. The idea of BABYMONSTER didn't start in 2024. It started all the way back in 2018 when YG's founder casually confirmed that a new girl group was in development, the first since BLACKPINK. But what followed wasn't a debut, it was silence, then delays, then more delays. For over 5 years, the launch was teased and postponed, with internal reshuffles, contract revisions, and shifting strategies. Each time fans expected a reveal, YG changed direction. By 2020, the rumored name BABYMONSTER had started circulating among fans and insiders. But there was still no concrete update. In reality, YG was stalling. According to company insiders, the strategy was to wait for BLACKPINK to peak globally before debuting their successors. And that timing mattered, not just artistically, but financially. By 2023, the delays began to impact more than just fan expectations. YG Entertainment's stock fell sharply, dropping nearly 50% from its May high to a 52-week low. Shareholders grew restless. The pressure was on. Only after BLACKPINK renewed as a group, but stepped away from solo contracts, did YG finally announce BABYMONSTER's official debut date, April 1st, 2024. Publicly, the delay was framed as perfectionism. Privately, many saw it as calculated scarcity, an attempt to control demand, attention, and narrative. But the bigger issue wasn't just timing, it was the expectations that came with it. Because after 5 years of build-up, this debut was no longer just a normal launch. It had to prove YG's long-term strategy, justify investor pressure, and carry the weight of being the next BLACKPINK. And while the debut finally came, the delays had already created something YG couldn't fully control. Pressure from the industry, fans, and money markets all at once. And that pressure was just beginning. While fans speculated over teasers and debut dates, inside YG's headquarters, the reality was far from glamorous. By late 2023, internal forecasts revealed the company was on track to post its first operating loss ever, an estimated $17.5 million in the red for 2024. Investor confidence wavered. Analysts slashed price targets, and without a major touring cycle or new flagship release on the horizon, YG faced growing pressure to deliver a turnaround. That's when BABYMONSTER stepped in, not just as a musical launch, but as a financial play. Even before their debut, the group had already been positioned to stabilize the company's outlook. Multi-million-dollar brand deals were secured in advance, and BABYMONSTER was prominently featured in investor materials and quarterly calls. Every delay may have frustrated fans, but from a market standpoint, it increased attention and valuation. When the group finally debuted, YG went all in. Digital ad spending surged, especially on YouTube. Internally, the campaign was dubbed Operation Floodlight, a strategy designed to flood shorts feeds, trending tabs, and global recommendations. Within hours of release, BABYMONSTER clips were everywhere, algorithmically boosted, brand-backed, and designed to dominate. But this wasn't just hype for the sake of exposure. It was strategy backed by numbers. BABYMONSTER wasn't expected to grow slowly. They were engineered to deliver results instantly. Their performance wasn't just about chart rankings, it was about stabilizing stock prices and restoring revenue flows. And when that level of pressure builds, it doesn't just stay in the boardroom. It spills over to the artists carrying the weight of it all. And the first visible crack was already forming from within. Before we dive in, if you enjoy deep dives like this, support the channel with a like. It helps us keep bringing you stories the mainstream won't. Just weeks before BABYMONSTER's official debut in November 2023, YG Entertainment announced that Ahyeon, one of the group's most anticipated members, would not be joining. The explanation was brief: health reasons. But the lack of detail, combined with her sudden removal from all promotions, sparked immediate concern across the fanbase. Ahyeon wasn't just another trainee, she had trained for 5 years, stood out in every pre-debut performance, and was widely seen as a future ace of the group. Her vocals, language skills, and charisma earned comparisons to senior idols, raising expectations. Then, out of nowhere, she was gone. Speculation took over. One controversy resurfaced, a school stage performance clip where some viewers claimed she mouthed a racial slur. YG never responded, but the timing led fans to connect the dots. Still, no official link was ever confirmed. YG's silence didn't help. Behind-the-scenes clips showed a group moving forward as 6. Visual hints, Ahyeon missing from coffee truck signs, or her name left off locker props, implied her absence had been in place long before it was announced. No members addressed it publicly. The absence felt more permanent than temporary. Internally, BABYMONSTER had to adjust. Vocals, formations, choreography, all rebalanced on the fly. Later interviews revealed that the songs felt incomplete without her, and the emotional toll was real. In early 2024, Ahyeon returned. She later shared that the break was necessary to address her mental health, saying, "I was upset at myself and felt sorry to the members." Her comeback brought closure, but also highlighted how fragile the road to debut can be, even for the most promising stars. Yes, we promised we wouldn't compare BABYMONSTER to BLACKPINK, but let's be honest, when you're launched by the same company, into the same market, under the same global spotlight, comparisons are inevitable. BABYMONSTER debuted in late 2023 with 6 active members, while Ahyeon, still part of the group, stepped back temporarily for health reasons. Even so, the expectations placed on these rookies weren't ordinary. They were astronomical. BLACKPINK wasn't just YG's last girl group, they were a seismic force in pop culture. $300 million in tour revenue, streaming dominance, and a brand that transcended borders. If you want a full breakdown of BLACKPINK's contract history and renewal drama, check the card above after this chapter. So, when BABYMONSTER arrived, they weren't just another rookie group. Internally, YG labeled them as Phase 2 of its global girl group strategy, a continuation, not just a debut. From their earliest teasers, the pressure was clear. This wasn't about starting fresh. It was about following up a global empire. That framing shaped everything. YG's marketing reportedly included directives for every BABYMONSTER music video to include legacy echoes, visual nods to BLACKPINK style, silhouettes, or even camera angles. Fans caught it fast. Was it a tribute, or was YG recycling a proven formula? Korean media doubled down. Articles stacked BABYMONSTER's data side by side with BLACKPINK's. Debut views, fashion brand deals, tour scale. The message was unspoken, but deafening. Are they measuring up? It didn't help when YG announced a world tour before even releasing a second single. 20 cities, 2 continents, for a group less than 6 months old. And to keep those lights blinding, YG didn't just rely on music. They turned to the algorithm. Just 10 days after release, SHEESH crossed 100 million views on YouTube, marking the fastest debut for any K-pop girl group in history. The headlines were celebratory, the reactions mixed. Applause turned to suspicion as data analysts pointed out a wave of ad impressions. Many of them served in regions with little prior K-pop engagement. According to industry insiders, YG had launched a 7-figure pre-roll ad campaign ahead of release, placing the music video into commercial playlists and autoplay queues across YouTube. Once embedded in the feed, the clicks multiplied, some organic, some algorithmically triggered. It's not illegal. In fact, it's common. But it raised a deeper question. Are fans finding the song, or is the song finding them? Meanwhile, BABYMONSTER's subscriber count surged past 9 million just 1 year after debut. That level of growth usually takes a half-decade. Not here. YG understood what the algorithm rewarded: momentum, spikes, acceleration. So they didn't just ride the wave, they engineered it. SHEESH clips flooded shorts. Behind-the-scenes content dropped back-to-back. Live performances and interviews landed in quick succession. Every asset fed the same machine: watch time and click-through. And the reward was global placement in suggested panels, search trends, and autoplay feeds. It worked. But there's a risk. Algorithms don't owe you loyalty. The moment the content slows, visibility drops. hype fades, and the same system that boosted you starts to bury you. So, YG made a decision, one that would shape everything moving forward. Don't slow down. Monetize the hype itself. In K-pop's past, profit came after the product: albums, tours, merchandise. Today, the hype itself is monetized. Before BABYMONSTER's first EP even hit shelves, YG reported over 500,000 pre-orders, numbers large enough to make headlines and ease investor nerves. Within a year, those figures grew to over 1.7 million units sold. But the real business model stretched further. YG rolled out tiered Hello Monsters tour packages months in advance. Fan meets starting at $45 and VIP experiences priced as high as $600. The tour hadn't begun, but the revenue was already banked. Each teaser video, concept drop, and live countdown wasn't just marketing, it was currency. Preview live streams triggered real-time movement on charts, and each spike became proof of market value. Financial analysts pointed to this model as the reason YG temporarily closed its operating loss gap in 2024, on paper at least. But hype has a cost. To maintain the momentum, BABYMONSTER's schedule tightened. 3 singles in 9 months, multiple performance cycles, endless filming, and international commitments. Industry insiders now say this output is non-negotiable. Quarterly targets must be met. The business doesn't slow for burnout. It accelerates through it. And in a system where anticipation itself is the commodity, the pressure to deliver becomes relentless. Creativity must move at the speed of capital. And rookies? They're expected to sprint like veterans. Beneath the headlines and glossy press kits, the reality is quieter and heavier. Behind every polished stage or marketing blitz are 6 teenage shoulders carrying global expectations. Rora and Chiquita often stay up past 2 a.m., rehearsing interviews in English to meet international media demands. Rami writes affirmations after live streams, worried that one mispronounced word could ignite fan wars. Asa, BABYMONSTER's main rapper, shared it best on Weverse. I want to be perfect, but humans can't be algorithms. That pressure, relentless, algorithmic, inhuman, is something the group is learning to push back against. Their answer hasn't been rebellion, it's been honesty. Live vocal practice streams without pitch correction, casual behind-the-scenes chats, imperfect, unfiltered moments that create real intimacy. The effect? Their comment sections have shifted. Less stan warfare, more support. Fans aren't just cheering for the music, they're protecting the girls. But the machine never pauses. BABYMONSTER's next comeback is already penciled in for Q3 2025. Will Ahyeon return as a fully active member? Will YG let the group breathe? Or double down on their ad-driven rollout strategy? The stakes remain high, because BABYMONSTER isn't just a creative project, they're the linchpin of a corporate roadmap, a bridge between legacy and survival. And at the center of it all are 6 young artists trying to grow up while carrying a company's future on their backs. What happens next may define YG's next chapter, or repeat a cycle the industry knows too well. And that was a brief look into the rise, pressure, and promise of BABYMONSTER, one of the most talked about rookie groups in K-pop today. If you want to see more stories like this, more deep dives into idols, controversies, and the industry behind the glamour, leave a comment, tell us what group you want next, and don't forget to subscribe. We post every week, so hit the bell and stay tuned. This is NM60 Kpoppy.